Got another video from Save the World. He's killing it with these videos, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I hit him up today. I was like,
I just want to let you know, regardless of what side you're on,
he's killing it. He's like the underground's biggest hater, but he's rocking it. Like, he's pointing out some decent facts, but I don't know if they're all grounded by at least my logic. But, you know, you got to give it to him. We'll see if he ever turns around and starts supporting. Well, I would actually like to see who he is a fan of. Like, does he like any artist, or just does he hate everybody? But he said rap made emo punk lame AF. So he's talking about the thumbnail is up here. Destroy Lonely, likes eating testicles, poser. Oh God. I just feel like, before we get into the video, Opium has elements of emo and punk inspiration. However, they make it a little bit more mainstream because they make it more casual and, like, you know, like it's just black attire. It's not necessarily shave your head and have a mohawk and get piercings and all that, because I don't know, you lose a lot of people, or maybe not lose fans, but like people aren't gonna dress and do, like, a regular person isn't gonna get piercing. Like, I'm not. I got my nipple pierced for my fraternity at one point when I was getting pledged, or when I was pledging, but I took that shit out so quick because it just hurt so bad, and it was honestly, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I don't want to get demonetized.
I just want to let you know, regardless of what side you're on, the cringe opium emo rap side, or the college dweeb with low social IQ, you're a loser, you're a virgin, and you're probably going to be speaking Chinese in 2 to 5 years. Rap has
Oh my God.
become so freakishly massive that it's completely absorbing other genres of music to accommodate for its growth. Now, if I was a 40-year-old old head wearing a baggy tee and wearing fucking N1 shorts, I would probably say something like,
"This new rap ass, bro. Y'all not doing it like us for real."
But here's the kicker. I actually agree. The rap industry is bad, not because your uncle said so, but the rap industry...
Well, okay. Just to debate that, I think that there's still the classic or street rap that's still, in pop rap that's still flourishing. It's just if you're listening to underground rappers, you know that shit is trash, so you just not listening to that. But it is still popular. I mean, like, you hear Don Toliver and like all these other, not that he's a rapper, but like these big artists who are still pushing the genre forward. It's just, the more underground music is, of course, going to be alternative in a sense, like be meshing different genres. That's why it's not mainstream. And that's why when artists go mainstream, that's why all the fans say it's trash now, because they liked it when they were still different and not just conforming to the pop sound.
Is now what the pop industry was in the early 2000s. It's a Matrix level rabbit hole, and you really have no idea how effed up your brain is because of it. Let me ask you this, my
He's gonna be Andrew Tate 2.0.
13 to 17-year-old viewer. What is the purpose, like the end goal of the music industry? Which one of these options would you pick?
Money.
And don't worry, I'll wait.
Turn black men gay so that biracial people become the new master race and plunge America into a domino effect of racial violence and a dystopian future where light-skinned boys with curly hair rule over various sects of the world with an iron fist. Also, Maya Bucket sucks P-word. What the fuck?
It's obviously option D, to manipulate you and change your taste. More specifically, they want to manipulate you like...
No, man. Everything in this world revolves around money. Now, when you start appealing to the biracial, or sorry, I was going to say bisexual and biracial, actually, when you spread across all demographics by being more fluid with all of your aesthetic and music, it just makes you more money. Like that, the human race, every individual seeks power. And what is power in essence? Money. So I don't think that these higher ups I know there's conspiracy theories. I don't know if they're truly trying to make people gay, but it's just, It's just to get more money.
They're gonna use catchy music and relatable artists to get you heavily attached to a certain lifestyle, to the point where you heavily daydream about that lifestyle every time you play one of their songs. It's like a drug, and that's why you keep coming back to their music, you keep stalking their IG page, and you keep wanting to look like them, which benefits labels and the people at the top. Unfortunately, young people have become a lot weak.
But see, why does it benefit the people at the top? Because they make more money, because it attracts a wider audience, because they're appealing to gay people, bisexual people, white people, black people, like everything within it. It's not necessarily, they're not just trying to control you, although I do think they're trying to control you, but they're trying to control you so they can get more money out of you.
Here the past 5 years. So the industry has had to change up the idols. You can't just use a girl boss queen or a real nigga G boss anymore, because our interests have become a lot more complex. The whole gang violence, get money, get girls thing, it's not as strong as it used to be. This generation is more into messaging your female friends at 3 a.m. and explaining how you've always liked them since day one and want them so bad, only so they can say, "Oh, you're so sweet, but I really don't think I'm ready for a relationship right now," just for them to post themselves with a boy on their snap 2 weeks later with a heart and lock emoji that sends you into a maddening spiral of anger and sadness that causes you to listen to Juice WRLD slowed and reverb for 3 hours until the song shuffles to Cardi Whole Lotta Red V1 leaks, and from that point you change your entire personality. You become more distant, more detached. Meanwhile, you're spending more time online idolizing Cardi and the underground scene of rap. Eventually, you realize you have...
I do think that people are getting soft on the internet just because they're not as social in the real world, and men are getting more feminine, and so I do agree partially with that. What happened to the date? Actually, there's an interesting stat that I came across it was like a couple months ago. I think I talked about it on the stream, where 20% of men, at least before marriage was invented, would reproduce, because all of the alphas, I'm not trying to red pill people here, they'd be the ones that slay all the hoes and give them all babies, right? So why would they want the losers? The women all want the top G's. And so now that marriage is invented, we all lock down these girls into one. Who are the leaders in like pretty much every society, whether it be religious or political or whatever? It's typically men. Now women are coming into power. And so these men who are like, they're like, what? I'm a loser. I need to get a chick. And be like, all these other alphas are getting all the chicks. I need to figure out how to like get my dream girl still. So everybody started just going off in pairs. And so now there's more women to go around. How did I get to this point? Oh, men are soft nowadays. But I think that's just been a thing always. Just 80% of men were not supposed to reproduce in the first place.
Have a lot of thoughts you want to share, so you start a YouTube channel. Sure, it goes through a couple of phases. All channels do at some point, but eventually you take a risk and make a documentary about Slay World, which skyrockets your channel and eventually takes over your life. And then people won't stop DMing you their music, asking if it's fire. No, it's not. Anyways, kids are a lot more emotional and they have a much wider array of interests now. You can tell this is the case with the rise of artists like X, Juice, and Peep, who all made more grungier, edgier music, and they were all into stuff like anime, games, etc. So in order for the industry to adapt to this, they had to change the status quo. The big artists had to be quirkier and edgier. And even after X, Juice, and Peep left their mark on the world, it still wasn't enough. The labels just couldn't keep up with just how batshit crazy kids were becoming. Like, have you seen...
But see, here's another thing. Regarding the labels, I don't think the labels are just targeting people who are quirky and being industry planting them, being like, oh, like, let's push him. I think the labels, actually, I know for a fact the labels just go, they're like hoes. They go to what is working. So if Lil Peep starts popping off, they're like, oh, they don't care what your image is, but if you're getting engagement on social media and people are streaming your music, that's just money to them. So again, I don't think they're trying to control people. That's just what works on social media, especially on TikTok with the China's trying to control us. And that's a whole separate thing where they're promoting degenerate activities on social media. Like I keep seeing on Twitter too, like anorexic girls. I had to like mute that and be like, stop recommending me that, because it blows up, because it is sensationalist. Like it's just something you look at and you're like, oh my God. And so just because you spent so much time looking at that thing on Twitter or TikTok or whatever, it starts getting recommended to you more. So that's why all these quirky things that are different start blowing up.
TikTok lately, like what the big
MMRS allegations. What even is that? It said don't look that up. MMRS allegations. Married couple indicted on. I don't want to get demonetized.
labels need to make you feel like you're a part of some sort of authentic, culturally shifting movement that's gonna like change history. So they had to go back to.
So again, aside from just labels, these companies are doing all the pride flag and like appealing to LGBTQ and all this stuff. The company is not even a person. They honestly don't give a fuck about any of these movements. They just want the money. So they're trying to support something that they think will get them more customers. And sometimes it backfires, like with Bud Light. So again, I don't think the companies aren't trying to control people. It's just money.
The entire 90s and 2000s period of alternative rock that really is honestly so freaking sick and is to this day unmatched by any other period in music, in my opinion. It is so influential on aesthetics, personalities, lifestyles, and music. But how are the rap overlords over at Interscope Records gonna use this to their advantage? Enter Playboy Carti. Ever since self-titled,
watch him say something about how he sucked an executive off. He sold his soul so he could be a mainstream artist.
It's obvious from Carti's photo shoots, his friend groups, and even his music that he was eyeing the punk rock scene as some sort of end goal. He had the cult following, but he needed to alienate them and truly mold them into his loyal followers. So Die Lit, and then eventually Whole Lotta Red drops, and then everybody's emo and goth and edgy and weird and blah 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 blah. Now, as much as people like to praise Whole Lotta Red for changing music and shifting the genre and oh my God, this is so amazing, it's kind of sucking the movement dry for its aesthetic while not really contributing much to the community at all. Like, I just want to put this out there. When Jason Destroy Lonely try rock music, it's literally just them saying the same shit they would with the same flow of a rap song with a guitar in the background. And it's
no, that's facts. Although I feel like Jace does have more of the alternative voice. He actually changes it. Lone, I would say, yeah, it's like the same thing, just over a different type of beat.
Not good. However, hundreds of meat eaters in the comments will praise these guys for breaking barriers and thinking outside the box, when really they are doing the bare minimum. And genuinely, 100%, this is the problem with this new era and movement that Whole Lotta Red has created. This whole Lotta Red TikTok era, it's cool, I like it. But as much as people like to say it's some sort of amazing evolution of sound, it's not. It's a vague rehashing of a previous era and movement that solely exists to make people think they're breaking barriers and being so cool for being different, and they're redefining the industry and blah 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 TikTok Deftones e-girl. Whatever new trendy era of culture that industries like to recreate again for money, you make the whole thing your lifestyle and personality, when deep down you know it's kind of empty and it's not really as deep as you make it out to be, but you attribute so much personal meaning to it. You're fat, you're ugly, you're constantly in my DMs asking me to review your music, and you're just speed running different phases of pop culture history, and your life in dopamine is taking the damage. The music still goes hard though.
I mean, isn't that anything in the music industry? Like, it's just, that's every trend. And also the whole dopamine thing he was saying, like everybody just goes through different phases of hobbies and interests, and you find something interesting or funny, you start implementing that into your life or lifestyle or your aesthetic, and then you move on to the next thing. Like, we all do it. I can't say that I haven't done it. Y'all can't say that you haven't done it. He can't say that he hasn't done it. You know? And we're all listening to new music, jumping from trend to trend. It's just everybody does it. Nobody just stays locked in because we grow as people. Our interests change. We don't stay stagnant. We are humans. That's the whole human nature. Like we like progress, or we like change. It gets boring if you're just doing the same thing, of the same lunch every single day, the same coffee in the morning. You like to switch it up, bro. Story as old as time. Facts.